If you are led by the Spirit.
Can we pray, sir?
Yes, you can pray.
Our Father Almighty, we thank you this very evening for the pleasure we have to come in your midst and to pray this that you have for us to us this evening. We pray that as we come to listen to this lecture, may you give us the brains and a retentive memory to assimilate and also reproduce by asking questions that are relevant to our cause. We pray and cover our lecturer with the blood of Jesus. All of
Blood
us,
of Jesus.
blood of Jesus. For in Jesus' precious name we have prayed.
Amen. Amen. All right. So at this point, everyone should mute themselves. Everybody mute. I'm going to give us 30 seconds to look at that.
I didn't hear you. Everybody.
Mute. Mute your mic. Only mine should be open. Everybody else should mute themselves, please. Mr. Fred and Gary, mute yourself. Jennifer Henderson, mute yourself. So mute yourself. If you don't do that, I'll help you. And when I help you, mute yourself. When it's time for interaction, I'll be able to talk. Anybody that speaks now, I'll mute that person. Miss Helen, mute. Okay, so please, let's all mute ourselves. Mute yourselves. And don't stop sharing and inviting your friends. All right. So today we're looking at a good study guide. The good study guide, as you already know, is one of our orientation courses. It's a course that introduces us to the school. I believe that this evening we're going to have a lot of friends in the house, a lot of master students, a lot of graduate students will be here with us. So if you are part of this category of people, you are all welcome. You're special, you are great, you are loved, and we are so humbled to have you in our midst. Now, tonight, we'll be looking at the Module 3, the first topic in Module 3, which is what overview of assessment in ODL. The class will not be so lengthy. I will try to be a bit brief so that we can all go back to other things we are doing. And as well, so as also give me time to continue what I'm doing. I'm not supposed to speak so long from now, but he that the Lord has set free is free indeed. God has given us victory, and victorious shall we remain in the name of Jesus. I want to especially use this opportunity to thank every one of us, both the small and the large, everyone that took time to reach out to me, that made effort to get across to me during my time of need. Those that took that time to pray for me, all of you are all blessed. My prayer for you is that when in the time of need as well, people will rally around you. You will not be void of help. So I really appreciate us. I really felt loved. I felt important. I felt needed. Okay. What happened was something that is beyond human description, but God made it look like a play, look like a joke. It looked so simple, it looked like cruise, but it wasn't. The enemy came to do one thing and one thing only, that's to kill. He came to kill, he came to destroy, he came to truncate the purpose of God in someone's life. But God said, touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. And of course, for him to do that, he used human vessels in you to accomplish that. So I'm very, very grateful. And of course, this is not the last time you're going to be seeing me. You keep seeing ourselves, you keep hearing from each other. Quickly, if you're in Lagos, please just remember that we are planning a get-together after our matriculation. A group has been created. So if you are not yet to be in the group, please try to join. Myself and other committee that are planning it will be working hard to see that day is a day to remember. So please, when we actually decide on what to do, the contributions to make and other things, please try to comply. Then we also have another arrangement for us to be praying every midnight. So those of us that are interested as well, a platform will be created for that. So somebody part-time, pick somebody part-time. You can pick a friend, you can pick a family member, you can pick a group of people, and just tell them, just pray for this life and give heaven no rest. So every 12 a.m. to 1 o'clock, we all wake up and we all join hands together and we establish the counsel of God in the life of the person or people we are praying for. For me, God have given me a special assignment which I will share with us when the time is right. All right. So, having said that, let's get down to business. The topic before us this evening is overview of assessment in ODL. ODL, as you already know, means open distance learning. An assessment, is a way of what evaluating, a way of checking to see if what you actually get to learn is what you set out to learn. Okay, that is assessment. So, what does assessment look like in open and distance learning? Remember that education has the normal conventional way, and of course, the open and distance method. Most of us are very familiar with the conventional style of education, and the ODL is quite new to us. I had a call this evening. Someone was telling me, the boss, all these online classes you're having, I'm not yet used to it. I still prefer physical meetings. I still do that. I was just telling her that, well, you are still living in the realm of the world conventional system of education. As you get to that time when you start getting used to what we are doing, okay, because this is still very new to you. So that is what most of us are going through at the moment. We are not yet used to the distance learning method. We are still all used to the conventional. So we're taking a look at what ODL and what assessment looks like in the ODL. And when we say ODL, it's not limited to the Open University of Nigeria. Open University of Nigeria is just one of the open and distance learning institutions we have. There are so many open and distance learning institutions out there in the world. Okay. So we'll be looking at it, and we'll take a look at how our own school applies all that. Okay, so without further ado, let's get down to business. Okay, what are you supposed to learn? That's your intended learner's outcome. Number one, at the end of this class, you should be able to explain assessment and evaluation in context of open and distance learning. So you should be able to explain assessment and evaluation. Okay, there are two different concepts, similar, different in their unique ways. At the end of the class, one of the things I expect us to do is to come to our study group on WhatsApp. There are many groups out there, we all know, but the one that is for us, okay, the one for us, the one by the boss, we go there and we answer some of the questions we're asking us there. And one of them is how do you define assessment? How do you define evaluation? Okay, what is similar between them, and how do they contract? Are they in contrast to each other? So in terms of open and distance learning, we'll look at that in this class. Appreciate the purpose for which assessment is carried out among undergraduate learners. So for undergraduates, how do we carry out assessment? Of course, since we have postgraduates in the house, okay, we also need to talk about it again as well. How can those postgraduate studies, okay, apply the purpose for assessment? Then acknowledge different types of assessment. So we have different forms of assessment. There are assessment that you apply when you are still studying, when you are going through your material. There are those you apply when you are done with the material. There are those you apply at the end of the semester, at the end of a particular period, to see how far you have come. If you can still hear me, I want you to hit me a love emoji in the comment section. If you can still hear me, please hit me a love emoji in the comment section. Then explain the principles that guides you in the process of selecting, developing, and using meaningful assessments. Okay, so these are the learner's intended outcome. Introduction. I didn't say you should speak. I said give me a love emoji in the comment section. So mute yourself, sir. Introduction. This person is not yet muted. I don't like disobedience at all. I don't like my system abhors it. It abhors disobedience. I said mute. Please, let's mute ourselves. Thank you. Okay, now welcome to the third module that is going to focus on assessment. Now, for your effective learning and studying, assessment directs you as to what you are to focus on during your course of study. So assessment will focus you I know I saw somebody in a group asking, please, house, I need AOC for this. I need AOC, area of concentration. I mean, that's a term that we hear a lot when you get to the conventional system of learning. Okay. So AOC, because he is telling you where they are going to like test you at the end of the day. So what is that person looking for that? The person wants to know where to focus on. He doesn't want to go on and on reading material that at the end of the day to have no relevance to him or her going to the next level. So though you have been engaged in writing tests and examination, yet you have not really comprehended what an assessment is and how it relates to evaluation. So in this unit, you will learn different meaning, tests, and why you are involved in assessment throughout the period of your study. Now, concept of assessment and evaluation. Meaning and guideline for certain assessment. Now, assessment occupies a vital position in the process of teaching and learning, certification and acquiring skills and knowledge, whether in a conventional system or in an ODL system. So when it comes to teaching, okay. So when it comes to teaching and learning, I'm teaching now, you are learning. As we are doing this, assessments, okay, it's very, very important. All right. I finished, I'm working with most of us on our TMA, and at the end of the day, I will ask you, how was your experience? Okay, I'm trying to assess myself. How was your experience with me? Some will tell me, some people will be very honest, they will tell you, okay, the boss, yes, I really enjoyed working with you. Some will say that, well, I enjoy working with you, but, you know, that is what I'm trying to assess myself now. All right. So that, what am I saying? That you can find yourself in a situation where teachers too can be assessed. Yes. As I'm teaching you, some of you are paying attention to my class. At the end of the day, if you go out there and ask you, what can you say about the boss? Some people will say, oh, he's this, he's that, he's too fast, he's too slow, he's too this, he's too that, he's too that. Is an assessment. So the same thing for you as a learner. At the end of the day, I want to ask you a question to see how much you have learned from what I've taught you. So assessment is very, very important when it comes to teaching and learning. There's certification and acquiring of knowledge and skills. When you are done with this program, they will give you certificates. We know that we just finished our convocation, okay? We just finished our convocation, and those that were graduated, they are being awarded certificates. You can, if you're in some groups, general groups, you see them talking about qualifications, what you need to bring for you to be qualified to be awarded your certificate. So assessment is important. They have not written an examination and passed, they will not be there to collect certificates. Then apart from certificates, you also acquire knowledge and skills. So there are some things you have known apart from the pali that you're going to. I'm an BSc holder in economics. Okay. So aside from the pali, you're going to be carrying up and down. You have something in your head. Okay, that is knowledge. You have something you can do with your hands. That is skills. So be it in what conventional and what ODL. Assessment is important. Assessment is a subsystem of the total ODL system. A vast mechanism works for managing students' assessment. All activities an instructor carries out in order to ascertain the level of achievement and ability of any learner is form of assessment. So most of our facilitators now, you can see some of them, they are asking questions. Okay, I saw the one for GST 105. The lady was asking you people, what is this? What is that? What is that in the platform? That is what an assessment going on. You do not to see how far you are learning, how far you are grabbing what is in your material and what she's teaching you. All right. Now, according to these people, Nick Ko and Brookham in 2007, assessment was being described as a process for obtaining information that is used for making decisions about students, curricula, program, schools, and educational policy. So if you want to make decisions, want to ascertain how good all these things I mentioned are, use assessments. Assessing students' competence involves collecting information to help decide the degree to which the student has achieved the learning targets. So if I want to assess you as my student, I will bring out the target. What are you supposed to know? If you have been taught this topic, what are those things supposed to know? I will ask you those things. If you don't know it, that means you are still very shallow. But if you know it, that means you have learned well. Assessment is classroom research to provide useful feedback for the improvement of teaching and learning. So I can use assessment to see how to improve. All right. Yeah, by the time I assess, I'll know where you guys are lacking and then know what I can do to improve that. Assessment is feedback from student to the instructor about the student's learning. So it gives the instructor feedback, okay, to know, oh, this student is actually struggling in this area. Let me improve. Oh, this student is good in this area. I need to step up. It's not in every case that assessment gives you negative feedback, whereby you now have to go back to repeat what you have done. Sometimes it could be a way of telling you that, oh, these students are far beyond this level. Let me take it higher. Yes, we've had students that come into some kind of environment and look at it that what they are teaching them is far beneath what they are worth. Okay, and the instructor will, through assessment, discovers that and steps up. Now, assessment is conducted in the ODL system, namely, so let's see, okay, mainly in the following format. So let's see how they do it in ODL. One, they do it mainly to provide feedback to learners, starting from assignments to term end examination. So we have assignments in our own school particularly. Now, the assignment is a TMA. So we have your TMA, you have your semester examination, which most of us are already preparing towards. Okay, so this gives you feedback. Yes, it gives you feedback. When you have done your examination, I have had cases whereby I finished my examination and I had to keep course material very well because I know that, even if I pass those courses, I still have work to do. Who is that person unmuting him or herself? The comment section is there for us. Use it. Use the comment section, please. Okay? Yes, don't stress the boss unnecessarily. So we use the assessment to give feedback to you as a learner. It's like your exam when you give you a report card when you're in primary and secondary school. It's like a feedback to tell you. Sometimes they'll tell you work harder next time. Sometimes they tell you keep it up. They wish you best of luck going forward. It's a feedback to tell you that, oh, I need to work harder in this area. I need to improve in this area. I need to take advantage of this and this and that. So to get an idea about what you as a learner is doing and what you are supposed to do to complete the program, okay, and to generate a spirit of consciousness to connect the concept of written materials with a variety of practices carried out by the learner. So what it tells you is what you need to know. For example, there are some students now, after their 100 level, they will give them feedback. They'll tell them that they are on probation. So you know that you need to work harder. You need to work harder so that you can make it, because you know that if you continue that level, maybe when you are done with the program, there'll be no certificate for you. Number two, to reach at summative evaluation based on formative assessment, which helps learners to examine their performance at every stage of their studies and progress successfully to attain the course objective. You don't have to wait till the end of the semester, okay, to examine yourself. As you are studying little by little, you are testing yourself. Okay, if there's any correction to be made, you are making it now. You don't have to wait till that summative level. That is the final evaluation that will determine your next step. Okay. Now, another reason why we indulge in assessment in ODL, okay, is that assessment in ODL is not only meant for students to earn a grade, it's equally helpful for monitoring the effectiveness of academic programs and adopting appropriate strategies to accomplish institutional objectives. So it's not just for you to earn grade, to get mark. No. They can use it to know what to change about the system and what to improve. The facilitators, the method this semester, I'm seeing a lot of changes in the pattern, in the system that the facilitators are using. Okay. Some of the things they are doing now were things they never did last semester, were things they never did 2 semesters ago. They are bringing in new things. Okay. And that is because of what the changes, the things that the pattern they are beginning to observe in the life of the students. So that is what is influencing them to do some of the things they are doing. All right. Very, very, very important that you know this. So if there was no assessment, they will not be able to put all these things in place, because all these things they are putting in place now is because of what they have watched the students, they have seen some patterns, some changes. Let me give you a very good example. I do tell students, like, it's very, very painful that sometimes we tell people things because you see them as friends, you see them as brothers, and they want to use it against you. At the end of the day, but God will still rise up for you. For instance, I told students that if you're in a group, don't sub TMA. I know somebody that's a student, another student that had issue with other students because the student was trying to be a loyalist to me, and they called him all manner of name. They even started attacking me because of that guy. All right. Don't come to a group and solving your TMA. If you know you cannot do your TMA, pay people to do it for you. The school can say anything they want to but they know. There are even staff of the school that even do TMA for people. I'm saying it on record. You can quote me anywhere. All right. Because let's face it, some people are very, very busy, cannot do it themselves. Not that they are lazy. I don't think any student that did TMA for is lazy. Some students are very, very good. Like if you interact with them, you know that these ones are not babies. They know what they're doing. They're sharp, but the time is not there. Okay, but it is you that is coming to group and is looking for answer. You are the lazy one, okay, because you have the time, but you don't want to put in the work. You're looking for people that will come and carry your load. I said, don't you dare come to any group. Any group, create group for any purpose. Don't create it and say, "I something to me." For some people think that maybe because of I'm doing it for money, I don't want them to do it to cooperate among themselves so that I can see money. Now, most of the facilitators now are now creating group by themselves, and those groups are emphasizing it. In fact, if you post anything CMA, they will even remove you immediately. So, what's the difference between what I told about is happening? Now, what has happened? They did not listen to me and they kept on doing what they were doing. The school now discovered that, oh, so these students, what they do, they used to do cooperative work, Abi. They now instruct their facilitators, or you start creating groups yourself. These facilitators don't create groups themselves. They don't create groups themselves. They don't even have time for it. They don't even have time. Some are not even interested in it. If you ask them any group, they say they're not interested. If you should create your group and run your thing. But now they're becoming involved because they want to cop that to the lowest. And how did they get to know that something like that is happening? It's through assessment. They must have asked some questions, they must have made some inquiries, and discovered that this is what students are doing. And how can they stop it? Through this method. So most of the changes they're bringing, most of the things you see them doing is based on what they have seen or heard from students. So please, I beg you in the name of God, let's be very, very careful. I keep praying for us that we will not get to that level where we start having them using time as an CMA like examination. When they get to that level, that is when you know that there's fire on the mountain. So please, if people seek godly and healthy counsel and always what abide by it. It's very, very important. Now, according to Fala Yajo in 2004, assessment is likely to result in promotion and improvement of learning only when at least 3 conditions are met. So you can have promotion, that means you move to another level. Okay, sometimes it might remain stagnant and no promotion, sometimes it can be demoted. Yes, people can be demoted. So it's based on how you perform during the assessment. So what will lead to your promotion is 1, the outcome being tested must be recognized and accepted as an important objective of the instructional program. So what you came out, the results of the assessment, okay, must be recognized and accepted. All right. Yes. To show that yes, you are able to achieve the objective of the program. So if I'm asking you a question from the end of this class and you perform very well, it must be you must perform in such a way that yes, I'll be able to say that yes, you actually were in my class. Okay. Number 2, assessment of achievement must be planned and implemented as an integral part of the curriculum and program of instruction. Assessment of achievement must be planned. So assessment is not just woke up and done. It's being planned. For instance, your TMA, they took time to set the question, went over it, and planned it very, very well. And apart from planning, implementation, that means the execution, all right? And it must follow the curriculum and program of instruction. That's why different courses, different subjects has different lineup of assessment tools. Now, this is emphasizing the fact that assessment measures the program of instruction based on the stated objectives. A set of guiding principles must be observed in selecting assessment meaningfully. These guidelines include the following. So, the guideline for you to select assessment tools. Number 1, be clear about learning targets you want to assess. So, before you pick any assessment, remember that it's not every assessment that comes from the institution. It's not every assessment that comes from the tutor or instructor. Sometimes as a learner, you can give yourself assessments. You can test yourself. Okay. You can pick up. I saw some students picking up some questions and that is the kind of thing to do in your groups. Don't come to group and be disturbing us. Any couple of admin students here, the group will always be locked. Come to the group, ask meaningful questions. Don't ask female questions so that they'll block you. Meaningful question. I read your course material. Okay, please, who knows the different guidelines to certain assessments? And people will be contributing. That is just it. So even as a student, you can give yourself assessment. You can pick questions and use it to text yourself to see how far you have gone. So these questions you are giving yourself must be clear. Okay, must be very, very clear about the learning targets you want to assess. So if what you have to learn is A, B, C, D, and then you're asking yourself X, Y, Z, you are getting it wrong. Now, be sure that the assessment techniques you select match each learning target. Be sure that the techniques match. So if I am mathematics, for example, now, sometimes most of the questions could be application questions. So it's not in every case that define, list, and stuff like that will be very suitable for my mathematics questions. Okay. So you need to choose technique that matches the targets. Ensure that it was selected assessment to serve the needs of the learners. So if you are an instructor and you are setting the assessment questions, make sure it serves the needs of the learners. What are those things that learners need to know? Not what they want to know, what they need to know. There are things you might want to know. There are things you need to know. They are two different things. Assessment should be about what you need to know. Use multiple indicators of achievement for each learning target. Multiple indicators. That means it shouldn't just be one-sided. That's why for those of you who are writing pen on paper, when you're writing like the masters and the PhD students, when you're writing your examination, even we have some 300 students that now coming into the school. So you could possibly, if you listen to me and you're going to write pen on paper, you see that some question, you can have question 1, and in the question 1 you can have A, B, C, and they have different patterns. All right. So they are trying to ask you question maybe from a particular region using different indicators. Now, take limitation of results of assessment into account when interpreting the result of assessment. So when the person fails or does not perform very well, don't just overlook it. Take it serious. Okay, when you are interpreting the results of the assessment. Sometimes people fail not because they don't know what they're doing, because of what the problem with the assessment. For example, TMA. I've had people that failed at TMA, not because of they did not know it, but because maybe they program wrong question and stuff like that. So by the time you want to examine that assessment technique, you need to judge the results of the learners. Okay. It could be very possible that if you notice that a test, everybody failed the test, you don't say, this is my student, they are olodo. They are olodo. I'll be talking. I'm not even paying attention. Look at you. Can you see yourself now? You are not a serious somebody. No. It could be that maybe you're saying the question that the English you spoke was not clear. And because of that, you are answering something else. So you need to use that to also check. Now, instructors can ensure that their method of assessment are effective by ensuring that so for you to avoid those kind of problems, 1, strive for clarity. Don't try to be speaking too much English. You have to impress everybody. No. Make sure that you use words that are clear and straight. All right. I'm not saying that you use words that are very, very simple, or sometimes you need to tax the brain of the people. When you are evaluating them on language, for instance, you want to test their knowledge of a particular language. I want to use some words that are not so familiar in our everyday life to ask them questions. But even at that, strive for clarity. Maintain balance. Balance between the large and the little, the big, the small, the advanced, and the basic. Let there be balance. For instance, when I set questions, I've been a teacher for over a decade. Now, when I test my students, I always have a ratio I follow. I usually sometimes I do 3-3-4. Sometimes I do 2-2-6. Sometimes I do 2-3-5. I have 3 levels of questions. I have a call high order question. That's the advanced one. I have middle order questions. I have low order. So sometimes I make my low order questions very, very much. I can make it 60% of the question. I can make it low order. Sometimes I can make it 40. Right? That's the one that has the highest number. Then followed by the middle order. The middle order is one that anybody that at least that read the question, the material or studied well should be able to answer. They will have the high order. So that high order will not be much, but it will be such that anyone that can answer is not, this one is a Baba. Okay. So it must be where I must be able to balance it. If I only set I other questions, that means I can have multiple zeros and few, maybe 100%. If I look at my question middle order, those are the higher order students in my among my learners might not be challenged by that exam. So that should be balanced. Now, ensure validity and reliability. Okay. Yes. Make sure what you're saying is valid. Okay. Don't ask questions that when you take it outside, it will be like, what is all this one? Okay. Be valid. Look beyond your learners. Okay. Look beyond your learners. Look at it that okay, if this question should be administered outside this particular space, will it be accepted? I remember when I was in secondary school, most of the teachers that used to teach us, they used to set questions. We used to have what they call unified exams, whereby they will give us the same exam for all the students in the state. And it's schools that set it. Now, those schools that are setting exams, they are the best of the schools. Those that they know that had the best teachers, they are the ones that are setting questions then. So if they find out that your questions are not valid and reliable, they might not choose it. Accommodate individuals' needs and differences. Very, very important. So when you do all this, okay, you will not have issues interpreting the result of your assessment. There's a question here, an activity said examine 7 assessment tools described in the source and how they are different from those that are familiar that you're familiar with in course of study. So there's a particular tool that they have mentioned some time back, right? So that is what I'm referring to here. Now, definition of evaluation. So let me pause a bit and hear from us. So far, so good. What have you been able to learn? So far, so good. What have you been able to learn from the class? If you want to say something, you can raise your hand. Have you been following? Okay, I can hear Ijeoma and Yaisho. So, Madam, you are live. Can you speak to us, please? Yeah, Miss Ijeoma, you are live. Yes, those of you that have been here so far, so what have you learned? Any comments, any reactions so far? All right, let's continue. So we have seen assessment. Let's go to evaluation. Now, the general assessment of students' learning will be inconclusive without evaluation because all assessment activities must lead to evaluation. So evaluation is the process of making a value judgment about the worth of a student's product or performance. Assessment provides the information you may use to judge the quality or worth of students' performance. So assessments will take place, then evaluation can now come. Evaluation means there's judgment you now make. For example, now when you have a student's answer question, that's an assessment, and then the student scores 3/5. You now say, okay, that's good. So that's good. That rating you are giving that student is evaluation. Okay, that's what they are saying here. Evaluation is a continuous process of inquiry concerned with the study, appraisal, and improvement of all assessment of the educational programs. Evaluation also leads to decision making among several alternatives, and the scope of evaluation includes value judgment, assessment, ascertaining the extent to which educational activities or educational objectives have been ascertained, effectiveness of the appraisal of instructions, and identifying learner strengths and weaknesses. Now, importance of evaluation, assessment, importance of evaluation and assessment. So, number one, instructional management. Okay, that's the first importance. So, assessment helps you to make decisions on how to plan instructional activities. I don't know if we are following you. I don't know if we are following. I don't know if we are following. I don't know if we are following. So, If you are following me, giving me love emoji, I've not received even one love emoji. All of you say you miss me, you miss me, you miss me, you saw me today. No one, even one love emoji I'm not getting today. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. So assessment helps you to make decisions on how to plan instructional activities. Okay, so when you say management means to coordinate things, to plan things, to organize things. So it helps you to manage, okay, instructional activities. Okay, placing students into learning sequences, monitoring students' progress, diagnose learning difficulties, provide students and parents with feedback about achievement, evaluating teaching effectiveness, and assigning grades to students. So all these things are what assessment and evaluation helps you to do. Okay, so with each, you can be able to manage, you can be able to organize, you can be able to plan, okay, activities that has to do with learning. The next one is selection. I don't need to make noise about this. When you go to conventional schools, for instance, before you enter, they'll tell you need to write pursuit TME and every other thing. So selection means to pick, for you to be considered to occupy a position. So in Open University, because of the openness, we don't really do this a lot. I saw a question they asked in the TMA, which of this is not a reason for assessment in Open system of learning? The answer is selection. So they don't use it. Open University, actually in Nigeria, there are other criteria they might consider, but using evaluation to categorize learners is actually appropriate. So in Nigeria, learners are often considered as selected or rejected for admission in various schools and institutions based on their performance in approved assessment bodies like Federal, State, National Examination Council, as NACO, West African Examination Council, as WAEC. Okay. So when institutions use assessment for selection purposes, it's necessary to show the candidate the results on assessment, yes, in that relationship to something like in the program or job for which the institution is selecting the person. So in this case, when you are selecting, Open University does not use PostJam and you pursue TME and stuff like that. But we use our WAEC and NACO, that's the O level, to actually select. Okay. For those that are coming for direct entry, they will use your A level, your NCE, your diploma. Those that are coming for tutorial level, they use their HMD. They're coming for postgraduate, they use your first degree. So very, very important. Then placement is different. Placement is after they must have selected you, then now keep where they are going to keep you. Okay, matters a lot. For example, some organization, when you come there to work, they give you interview. They wanted to employ you as a manager before, but after interviewing you, see that no, this person is not qualified, but maybe you have one connection like that, they cannot tell you don't to come. They look for a lesser position and give you. And one of the places I worked before, a pastor, as a family friend to the owner of the school, brought his wife to work as a teacher. After testing the woman, they said no, as a teacher. Instead, they gave her the position of a cleaner. Okay. They gave her the position of a cleaner. So that is what placement does. All right. Sometimes they can test you and give you a higher position. So people are assigned to different levels of the same general type of instruction, education, or work. No one is rejected, but all remain within the institution to be assigned to some level. So in Open University, everybody is, as far as when you come in, you maintain the same level with others, and your promotion will come based on what you do in this institution. Then we have classification. At times, you make a decision that results in learners being assigned to one several different but under that categories, jobs or program. You need to consider classification as a more general term than soon selection and placement as special cases. But it's all these things that's what we can do with what assessment. You can be able to classify people, okay? That is to group them into different sections, right? Yes, I just talk about high order, low order, middle order. So I can be able to call my student a grade A student by what assessment. So if I want to, if I know my students that are very, very serious in my class, that I can always rely on at certain times, okay? Because of what assessment, by virtue of assessment and evaluation. Guidance and counseling is another thing, right? So it helps you to guide and counsel students. By the time you assess them, you know those are where they need help the most. You know how to guide them and cancel them outright. Then we have credentialing and certification. So this is where you get your PALI. Okay, assessment helps you to do that. Many people are due for graduation, but you not graduate because of what assessment. So they still have one thing or two to settle. So once they do that, they will get their credentials validated. Now let's look at the types of assessments. These will be stopping for tonight. Okay. Now, classroom assessment is divided into 3 types. We have assessment for learning, which is what formative assessment. We have assessment of learning, which is summative, and then we have assessment as learning, which is the last one. So the responsibility the work I'm giving us now is to go and read them up on our own. I'm going to open our chat box, our what they call it, our WhatsApp chat room for interaction on these during the week before next time we come again for the class. So please let me check those of us that are live now so they can keep reminding me that the boss, you said this and that and that. I can see Tolu Akerele, so please, try to remind me during the week that I said something like this. Silverline Patrick, Adione Sioma, and yeah, so please just try to remind me so that I will ask you guys. So on your own, let me give you guys as a task. Go and read up. So this one is say assessment, formative assessment. That is the one that you do when you are still studying. Okay. Then we have summative at the end of the studies. And then we have the one that will give you at the end of a semester, like your exam. So just read just go down, read it very well, and try to apply it to what is obtainable in Open University of Nigeria. So I'll be asking you questions like, okay, if you are going through your material and you see some questions, like something like this now, this activity now, what kind of assessment is it going to be? Is it going to be assessment as learning, assessment for learning, assessment of learning? So we're going to ask us those questions when we are done. Okay, so that's the most we can take for tonight. The class is already 1 hour long. So at this point, I'm going to be giving us room to ask our questions, make our own contributions, and then we call it an evening so that we can prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, and we'll be going to church. So if you have anything to say, you can raise your hand now, and I will unmute you and you speak. Yeah, does anyone have any question? Any comments? Any input? All right, Emmanuel, you are live. Mr. Emmanuel, you are live, bro. Talk to us. Yes, good evening, sir. Hello, are we all cool? No one has anything to say. Okay, Miss Helen.
Hello, sir.
Yes, you're live.
So I'm asking a question, sir.
I didn't hear the question.
Hello, sir.
Yes, you're live.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I say based on this evaluation, sir, in sometime education we talk about table of specification, that is the blueprint, which serve as a guide for teachers to understand how they will set questions for the students and how they will be able to pass the examinations. At this point in time, sir, I have not seen this included in this lecture and especially in this book talking about this evaluation as a topic here. I don't know whether it is not important, but I think they also talk about validity and liability, which is also important, and that should also included. So if there is anything to know much about that concerning that issue of blueprint or specification table, you can try to let some of us understand, because it's very, very important in education, and some of us have knowledge that is not up to. Sometimes we are asked to define or explain or submit the table or specifications in our schools. Hello, sir.
Yes, I've heard your
I've
questions.
heard your questions.
So can
You are
you
asking,
tell
you are
us?
asking why.
why is
Can you? My question is that can you tell us little about this aspect of table or specification as regards evaluation?
I think that should that is under education. Are you still in education?
Hello?
What's your department?
What's your department, please?
So my department is English. That is Faculty of
English
Art.
education.
English education.
My department is Art, Faculty of Education.
Okay, thank you. All right. So that question, if you are doing educational psychology, from of education, educational course, they will tell them you can go that far. See, this is a GST course, okay? So they understand the fact that most of us are not education major. So that is why they had to explain it on the surface level. We are taking it deeper. So if I begin to go into that, everyone here will be lost except you, because you're an education student. So table of a specification, the table of a specification is talking about objective. Okay, so when I've already told you that whatever it is that you are evaluating students on must meet the target. So they might not give you the breakdown. Like they're not training you as a teacher. They're just teaching you what you need to know, so that when you are reading your materials, you can be able to understand. So I don't think we need to go that far. So when we have a course that focuses on that, we deal with it. What we need here is what is in the course material. So I don't think I have, it will be leaving the scope of the course material to talk about that, because the course is what for general knowledge. So they pick little from here, little from here, and they balance it. All right. But when they are teaching you as an education student, they are going to go far and explain everything to you the way you should know it. But this one, they're not training teachers. They are training that they're just trying to introduce us into open system of learning. So that is why it is not telling us about table of specification and many other terms we see in education. Those are educational jargons. Okay. So which I wouldn't be interested to go into at the moment. I'm so sorry. Miss Adioni Isioma, good evening. You're welcome. Yeah, Miss Adioni Isioma, do you have any question or contribution to make?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Sorry, I joined the class late. I joined when you guys almost done. So I really don't know what you guys were saying.
Okay, you get the replay. I'll share the replay recording later.
All right, sir.
You're welcome. Hope you are good.
I'm fine, sir. And hope you are good too.
We thank God. God is.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank God, man. Crystal, you're live. Crystal. Okay, Efia Were Ufuoma, you are live. If you have anything to say, just raise your hand. I will allow you to speak. I have less than 10 minutes to spend here, please. If you have anything to say, whether it's a question you want to ask, whether you must make a contribution or anything, just raise your hand. Okay, so please, as I said earlier, for the guy that was asking us question on the table of specification, as I said earlier, that is something that will make sense if we are doing education course. As I discussed, if I start going deeper into that, most of us will be lost because it's not within the scope of what we're supposed to be doing. Okay. What you need to know here is basically simple. And that's what the table of presentation is also talking about, is that for you to assess people, you need to understand the objective. The objective that is to say, what are the main things that you're supposed to learn from that particular concept or from that given topic. And then you use that to test them to see if they have actually met that objective. Simple and short. Okay, simple and short. That is what assessment. And then when you have done the assessment, from the outcome of the assessment, from how they are performed, you cannot make judgments. Okay, that's where evaluation comes in. You cannot make judgment and say, oh, okay, this person is good, this person can improve, this person has improved, so on and so forth. Chisom Okafor, you are live. Chisom Okafor, you are live.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma.
Thank you for the class. I really enjoyed the class, sir.
Thank God, ma.
So the assessment, is it after the assessment that like the evaluation have to do with grade, like the grade they give, like if you pass like 10 over 10, something like that.
Yes, evaluation comes after assessment.
Okay, like the grade they award you.
The grade, yes. The outcome, like the judgment they make from your outcome, from your results. For instance, like if somebody scores 5 over 5 in a particular assessment, and as an instructor, you say excellent, bravo. That's evaluation.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay. Let me come to Miss Unso. Miss Unso Alice. You are live, ma. After that, I'll come to Erita.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma.
I was actually asking on grade. I saw it on my portal. I didn't know if you it. I didn't see any grade on it, but I went to the left hand. By the left hand side, I saw my courses. Then when I clicked on it, each of the courses I saw my grade on it. Why is it not showing me on the normal grade card on that my course on my portal?
It's supposed to be showing there, but I don't know. Maybe it's technical issues. For some people, it's technical issues. But if you have checked the course, I think it's some kind of technical issue. They are working on it. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. But if you are close to any of the ICT crew members, you can also tell them, let them know that your grade is nothing is displayed on your grade.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Eri, Yomi Timothy, you are live. After Eri Yomi, I will take Mustafa, and that will be it for today. I need to go and rest. Oh man. Please don't forget, for those that just join us, if you're in Lagos, you're applying our hangout, matriculation hangout. And then aside from that, we're also planning our midnight prayers. Please, we need to be praying. And this what happened to me is an indication that we need to pray. We need to pray seriously for ourselves and for people around us. So we're having midnight prayers every day by 12 a.m. We wake up and we pray. So we have a platform we create for that as well. Then please, if you want to support us, it takes time, it takes effort to put all this together. For me now, I'm still recovering self. I still need to I still need a lot of things. If you want to support us financially otherwise, please try to. And then this time around, I'm not going to be carrying on the load on my alone. most of us will be involved in many things as well. So if you're interested to be a burden bearer, please, you can always reach out to us. Want to be part of us, want to join us in coordinating, whether they are the administrative part of the work, in terms of coordinating our groups, or in terms of joining us in facilitating some of the courses that you can handle. Please, we really appreciate every help we can get this time around. Let's all make ourselves available. It's for our own good. It's for our own good. We are training ourselves, we are building ourselves, and we are supporting ourselves, at least in the right way. So when some people say, let's help ourselves, they think it's until you come and carry summaries or carry things that people are supposed to be paying for and be given to them free of charge. You're helping them. That's not true. Okay. I don't have to. Bible not say we should love our neighbors more than ourselves. It says love your neighbor as yourself. I don't have to inconvenience myself or put myself on disadvantage because of I love you. No. So we need to have all this basic understanding. So whatever it is you can do, and do it. And then for those that have businesses that want us to be using this medium to once in a while to do shout out to our businesses, you can reach out to me and sponsor our classes, right? Sponsor our classes means you can just, if it is the charge card, if it is the data for that class, you can buy for me that day. Or so something, just do something and I'll during the class, I will shout out to you, I will mention your brand and how they can connect you for those that will need you. So that is just it for that. Okay. So Mr. Yomi Timothy, please, you are live. Ask your question. If he's not available, Mustafa Amaudin, you can ask your question. Adaji Nibiru.
Hello.
Okay. Yes, you're live. Yeah, that's your question. Yes, I can hear you, sir. Yes, Yomi, go on. You are live.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, I can
Hello,
hear
sir.
you loud and clear. I can hear you.
Yeah. Every year, Miss Timothy. We wanted to ask about the you were explaining concerning yeah you were saying concerning type of assessment, but we don't understand the previous assessment that you designed into this platform. You said the formative assessment and summative assessment. Can
I
you
you know I,
please
I,
explain
I
to
asked I
us, sir?
asked you to I asked you to read it. I say you should read it up. I know I don't teach you. I say read it up.
Network.
I say you should read it up.
Summative
I will discuss it on WhatsApp.
assessment.
So I say
Hello,
read
sir.
that up. I say read it up. Okay. So you can read that up. Please, somebody should just update the group on what we have done tonight. Okay, maybe Miss Untualis, you can do that for us. Just update them and then tell them the assignment I gave them so that we'll not waste time staying here. Let's just pray. Miss Tolu Akerele, please pray for us.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So Untualis from Pub Admin, you can help us out. Just update the platform of what we have done tonight. So Miss Toru Akerele, pray for us, please.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Classroom
Father,
assessment
we
is
give you
generally divided
praise.
into three type assessments for learning: formative assessment.
Okay, continue. Who is praying for us, please?
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, we give you praise, we give you honor, adoration. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for bringing us together to come together to do this class. May your name be praised in Jesus' name. Father, as
Amen.
we all are going back to our different activities, Father, guide us and protect us in the mighty name of Jesus. Father God, next
Amen.
time that we're going to meet again, we will come here healthy in the mighty name of Jesus. And Father,
Amen.
whoever that will be an Indian to us not to listen to what they have to say to us, let it be destroyed in the mighty name of Jesus. And we'll cover the
Amen.
people of the blood of Jesus. We'll cover each and
Lord
every
of
one of us
Jesus.
with the blood of Jesus. In
Lord of
Jesus' name, have
Jesus.
I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Good night, everybody. See you guys some other time. Thank you for not giving me love emoji. No love emoji for me today. No love emoji. Even one. Even one. Let me even check if I saw anyone. Okay, I saw only two. Only two love emoji. What is his name? Celestine Ariwodo and Miss Abigail Sunday. Only them. Only them that show me love. Ah, okay. It's only two of them now, Nina. Only two that show me love emoji. Only two people that gave me love emoji today. Is well. Out of the great mad, the multitudes upon the multitude of the multitude that came to class today. Let me see this fellow. Chinaza Vivian too gave me love emoji. But it is all right. Thank you, Mr. Isioma. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Abosede. Yes, Holy Spirit is at work. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate. So, by God's grace, we might possibly have another class tomorrow because we have a lot of ground to cover. So, when it's time, we'll get the link. So, please don't forget to. Most of us will be called upon to facilitate some classes. We'll call upon to do many things. Let us support one another. Let's compliment one another. And most of you are still seeing me as a stranger. I don't know why you guys are doing that. Have I not done enough to earn my place in you people's hearts? I don't know. Most of you are still seeing me as strange. Someone was just describing me. I don't know what just describe me as whether I say one agent, I be one thing. I'm just laughing. People still see me as one stranger. It is well. If I've not done enough to impress you, don't worry. God by Himself will ignite your love in my heart. Will ignite my love in your heart. So until we meet, this has been the voice of the legit boss, MSC. Every other boss out there is nothing, just a what?
A counterfeit.
Tell them, let them know. Bye-bye.